Welcome to the Numerical Tarot. A new tarot paradigm. An alternative to tradition. An axial system of archetypal crystallography. A transculturally anthropomorphized, life-biased binary influence calculator. A wisdom system and archetype enhancer with harmony of interpretation throughout. The content of all the videos in this series are excerpts, edits and brief summaries from the eBooks All Things Are Numbers and All Things Are Patterns, links below. For a more complete explanation of each idea, additional reading might be helpful. Hopefully the basic ideas come across enough to pique your interest in trying this alternative approach to tarot. Throughout this series of videos I've shown various tarot decks that I've drawn, with and without the help of my late mother and all of her artistic talent. In the last video I explored the idea of making a new deck, employing the help of one or more of these recently developing artificial intelligence programs for creating art from text prompts. Giving an artificial intelligence a text prompt is almost like giving those same instructions to a human artist, except that with AI there is not as much back and forth communication or refinement. And there is also a lot more randomness involved. You can attempt to reduce the randomness and compensate for lack of human interaction by writing better and better prompts in the hopes that the AI understands everything you want to exact precision, but that is not easy. I have also found that even when I get good results from a well-written prompt, the AI often ignores parts of what I asked for. They seem to have an upward limit to how many details they can manage to include in any single image. Also, because of randomness, there is often difficulty getting a consistent look across many images, such that they might all look like they were all drawn or painted by the same artist. Even when referencing the same artist as an inspiration, consistency often fails. So, with all this in mind, I decided to forge ahead with an attempt at creating a new deck using several of the most popular AI art programs out there, DALL-E 2, Dream Studio and Midjourney, and helping things along with a lot of compositing and retouching. However, along the way, something happened that was unexpected. I ended up creating a deck with a design that is different, even from that of my own design. That deck is the deck that is being featured in this video. What is different about it? Well, as mentioned, I have drawn several tarot decks. Or, at least, what I call tarot decks. Because my decks do not have any tens, and I change some of the iconography, some people think they shouldn't be called tarot. But I call them tarot. But in an even more radical departure from tradition, this current deck pushes that line even further by eliminating the page and knight from each suit. In discussing the design of tarot with other enthusiasts, I have found that many people struggle with determining the intended meaning of the court cards. Some apply seasons to them. Some apply astrology. In my previous decks, and through these videos, I have explained my own elaborate method for giving court cards intended meanings. But all along I have felt that the court cards were kind of redundant and superfluous, especially within the parameters of my unique deck design, which puts extreme focus on the grid of pip cards and associated kinetograms. With that in mind, I've always thought about making a simplified deck that only has a single male and female, or yin and yang influenced character in each suit. Because my pip cards only number to 9, that would result in a 44-card deck, with 11 cards in each suit. For a long time, I thought about doing only that, with no major icons at all. But after realizing that my major influencer cards total 22, and that 22 plus 44 is equal to 66, I could not resist indulging in that numerological serendipity. And when I realized that the 11th month of the 22nd year was approaching, with me at age 66, I really could not resist. And so I birthed the first 11, 22, 44, 66 tarot deck. Here it is, all together. Thank goodness as well, that this new artificial intelligence art creation technology came along to assist me in creating a deck with elaborately illustrated cards throughout. I have dreamed for a long time to find someone who could draw better than I could, to help me create a really good-looking deck. Because of low finances, this is as close as I think I will ever get to realizing that dream. And if all goes well, more art will be generated to create more 66-card decks like this one. Stay tuned. But, just to be clear, if anyone out there is interested in collaborating on a deck, based on the design ideas presented in these videos, do not hesitate to contact me. Because of that upward limit to detail mentioned earlier, I had to settle for images that were not as exact in pose, costume and prop as I would like them to be, and overall images that are not as full of other details as I would have liked. Compositing and retouching missing elements into each image helped, but a much better deck could be created with a human collaborator. In case you are wondering, almost everything put forth in previous videos remains unchanged. The only thing that changes in this deck from previous decks is the elimination of the pages and knights from the court cards. And because of the elaborate way intended meaning was determined for court cards previously, the intended meaning for the remaining 2 court cards is altered only slightly. In video number 16 Families, that elaborate method is described in detail. Basically, it takes the two halves of the minor pip grid, rotates one half, and superimposes the two halves onto each other to establish a combined influence for each court card. In this new design, things are much easier to follow. Basically, the Queen of Division Spade Sword is influenced by the 1 of Division Spade Sword and 1 of Subtraction Club Stave, which makes it similar to the Jinx. While the Queen of Subtraction Club Stave is influenced by the 2 of Division Spade Sword and 2 of Subtraction Club Stave, making her similar to the Haunt. The Queen of Multiplication Heart Cup is then influenced by the 3 of Multiplication Heart Cup and 3 of Addition Diamond Coin, making her similar to the Beauty. With a little crossover, the Queen of Addition Diamond Coin is influenced by the 6 of Addition Diamond Coin and 6 of Multiplication Heart Cup, making her similar to the Angel. The King of Addition Diamond Coin is then influenced by the 4 of Addition Diamond Coin and 4 of Multiplication Heart Cup, making him similar to the Hero. While the King of Multiplication Heart Cup is influenced by the 7 of Multiplication Heart Cup and 7 of Addition Diamond Coin, making him similar to the Saint. The King of Subtraction Club Stave is then influenced by the 8 of Subtraction Club Stave and 8 of Division Spade Sword, making him similar to the Wraith. Which means the King of Division Spade Sword is influenced by the 9 of Division Spade Sword and 9 of Subtraction Club Stave, making him similar to the Ghoul. The character of the 4 positive court cards changes very little. The character of the 4 negative court cards changes a little more, but not that much. So, overall, very little change with this new 66 card design. The 1 to 9 number line of each suit and major row is still symmetrical, A. The major icons are still parents to the minors, B. The positive majors are still equivalent to the positive minors, C. Addition Diamond Coin is still opposite to Subtraction Club Stave, D. And Multiplication Heart Cup is still the opposite to Division Spade Sword, D. And the quaternary is still the quaternary, E. For those interested in drawing their own deck based on this system, what does change significantly is the number of illustrations you need to do to complete a deck. With this design of 66 cards, you are creating 12 fewer illustrations than you would with a traditional deck. And, because the illustrations for the quaternary can be more abstract, you are really only creating 62 full illustrations, so 16 fewer illustrations. What a deal! Hopefully that will be a selling point that will entice someone to take on the Herculean task of drawing their own clone of this design. Enough Rider-Waite-Smith clones, let's see some 66 decks out there. The Royal Road, Tarot 66. Like I said, this deck is available now. But if it doesn't excite you that much, hang on, because I'll be making more decks with these AI art programs, so check in later to see what comes along. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope it all made sense. Links to ebooks, decks and merchandise below. And, seriously, if anyone is interested in drawing a deck based on this system of organization, don't hesitate to contact me for a collaboration. I'll be making a few more decks with AI, but a human collaboration would still be much better.